Update: I think my 24F husband, 33M husband is stalking me. We talked about it and he admitted that ever since I've been back to work, he's been super worried and anxious about me. He says that not knowing where I'm at, if I'm safe, etc. has been hard for him, and that yes, he's been following me around to make sure I was okay. We discussed how him watching my location and following me around makes me feel like I have no privacy and we need to set some boundaries. We've decided that we'll call each other at lunchtime every day and that he's only allowed to come to my office twice a week max. He will text me when worried about me instead of checking my location. He's also sharing his location with me now. Do those seem like reasonable boundaries to you guys? Edit. These boundaries would only be the first step, guys. The goal is still to go back to a normal relationship with rare office visits, less phone calls during the day, etc. We were just going to ease into it. He needs therapy. This is not normal or okay. Wait. Calling at lunch. Visiting office twice a week? My mom doesn't even visit my dad's workplace. I'll be honest. I saw a video once where a mom was so obsessed with controlling her daughter's diet that she insisted the daughter call her at lunch every day so they could go over the lunch options, even though it was literally the same thing every day. Your husband's behavior reminds me of that. He sounds more like an overprotective father checking in on his daughter. His insecurity makes me think the man is not ready to be in a relationship. This is the kind of behavior exhibited by a guy you have a restraining order on, not your husband. Edit. I read the original post. The man is not well. He is controlling and exhibits classic gaslighting, such as trying to make you feel like you're crazy when you called him out for stalking you. He is not protective, he is wacko. Not surprising that he chose someone 10+ years his junior. No, this behavior is not reasonable. You've basically negotiated how controlling he's allowed to be. And it's still too much. Why would he need to show up at a grown woman's office twice a week to check up on her? Why do you need to call him every day? I would bet my bottom dollar that as time goes by, he'll infringe on more and more of these boundaries until you're back to square one. And I saw you started dating when you were a very young 21 and he was a grown-ass 30? That's a red flag in itself. Do those seem like reasonable boundaries to you guys? No. This isn't normal. This behavior is super creepy. Why does he feel he needs to check on you at all? Is there a history where he lost someone in an accident? Trauma he hasn't dealt with? If so, he needs counseling. Controlling you won't solve it. Does he think you're cheating? If so, does he have any reason to? If the answer is no, which I'm guessing it is, it's a huge red flag that something is not right. He's also sharing his location with me now. Is that something you really wanted, or is it something he used to bargain with you? Do not feed into his insecurities by agreeing to any of his demands to control you. I'm sorry, but everyone in the comments is trying to warn you that the requirements set are way too much. I don't know a single man who visits his wife at work 2 times a week. He's treating you like some kind of toddler that needs protecting. Probably the age gap. This is not okay, and all you're doing is justifying and normalizing his behavior. You're literally blind. I don't think there's a need for either of you to share locations right now. He is clearly going too far with it. For safety, I'd share your location with maybe a different family member that can notify him if you're in danger. He is being overpowering. I have nothing against age gaps, as I'm 23 and my boyfriend is 30. Almost dated a guy who is 32. But the issue with age gaps can be crazy power dynamics like this. Stalking is never okay, even in marriage. To me, his stalking is a sign of insecurity, paranoia about unfaithfulness more than safety concern. Edit to add. iPhones have many safety features such as emergency buttons, emergency contact access if someone finds you passed out with your phone locked, etc. There's not a great need to share locations anymore. No. If he is worried about you, one text, "Are you okay?" should cut it. He is still about control. Location sharing is an absolute BS. Are you a child going home alone? No. Him disclosing his location is not the same, you legitimately don't need it. I had to call CPS on my sister, now I'm worried she will never talk to me again. My sister, 30, is currently having a manic depressive episode and found out she's been abusing opioids. I, 25, went to her house as family members expressed concerns and the house was trashed and very unsanitary. They have a 3-year-old daughter and it was clear the home was unsafe for her. My brother-in-law, 36, was only focused on himself and studying for finals, for the 7 credit hours he is currently taking. We were able to get her to agree to go to the for psych evaluation. My mom and I stayed behind to clean the home. Brother-in-law stayed at the house as well and was on his computer. When my sister returned, she lied about her diagnosis and said that everything was fine. I read her paperwork from the and found new diagnosis of bipolar disease, manic depression, and opioid use disorder. Both my sister and brother-in-law refused to let my mom and I clean the house and had no plan to address the situation. At this time, we did not know where my niece was. They had been leaving her with friends over the last 2 weeks during the day. I told them I am a mandatory reporter and had serious concerns about child neglect, safety of the home, and my sister's mental state. I said that if they wouldn't take steps to make the home safe or let us help, I would have to call CPS. They said, "I don't care, call CPS, it's not child abuse, just child neglect." I went home and contacted any friends, other family that could have my niece and had no success. So I ended up calling CPS. It's now days later and my niece has been removed from the home and is safe. I am still worried about getting my sister psychiatric help and making sure she is safe. But my sister and brother-in-law refuse to talk to me and I'm worried will never speak to me again. I am also worried that when they get my niece back, I will never see her. But I do know her safety is more important. What can I do to support my sister and help the relationship? Don't worry about your sister. You protected the child and that was the right thing to do. If she can get herself better and realize that one day, that's good and you two can move forward. But never apologize for what you did or feel that the onus to repair the relationship is somehow on you. This thread is full of people saying, "You should have taken her in." Yes, in a world of rainbows and unicorns that's how it would work, but it's not the reality of how it works. You don't get to do that. The kid still ends up with CPS or its parents. All that does is get op in legal trouble. It's not child abuse, just neglect, so they knew full well what they were doing. Screw them both. I hope their paternal rights get terminated and they can never conceive again. Bluntly, the hell with both of them. They evidently don't want a kid. The guy is a waste of space, and your sister is finished as a human. She's just a shell of opiates and unmanaged mental illness. The sister you knew is dead. You'll go mad trying to help them, and achieve nothing except making yourself exhausted and frustrated and angry. Write them off, and focus on their kid. Keep in touch with CPS. You did good. You are a mandatory reporter. If you had not have report that, you would be in a lot of trouble and lose your job, and then your niece would still be living in filth. In my opinion, you had no choice. It's just child neglect. That broke my heart, for her little girl who deserves better. Opiates steal every ounce of motivation from you. They are the worst addiction and I am glad you stepped up. I hope this gives her the motivation to get sober and help for her mental illness. I bet it was so damn hard to make that call. I am proud of you for doing the right thing. I wish I had called CPS on my brother and his wife 25 years ago. Their kids would be better off. You did the right thing. Especially since you couldn't even find the child and had no idea if they were safe. Your sister needs serious help, and it's clear you care about them, but you cared for the well-being of the child first and foremost, which I commend you for. Even if it damages your relationship with her, their kid is in a safer place and that could end up changing their life for the better. You did the right thing. I hope your sister is able to figure herself out, and I hope your relationship will get to the point where you guys can be cordial at the very least. It's not child abuse, just child neglect. Holy shit. That makes me sick to my stomach. You did the right thing, op. Did my wife mean what she said when angry? Me and my wife got into an heated argument one time. She told me that she wishes she never lowered her standards to be with me. Later on, once things cooled off, she told me that she only made it up to get under my skin and that if she really felt that way then she wouldn't be with me. She said that she isn't shallow, and doesn't have a standard, but it hurts because I don't know if she really felt that way or if she made it up just to make me feel hurt because she was hurt. Just looking at your post history, she meant what she said and is now just backpedaling. There are two options and both of them are bad. 1. She meant it and is only claiming she didn't because she doesn't want to go through a divorce and have to be alone. 2. She is telling the truth that she didn't mean it, but what that would mean is that she has a seriously unhealthy way of handling disagreement in that she veers away from the actual issue and makes it personal with the intent of hurting you in order to score points, or win. If it's the first, there's really no coming back from that and you should go ahead and divorce. If it's the second, she needs to get her butt into counseling ASAP to break that habit and learn more effective and healthy ways to communicate and handle disagreement. Almost certainly she meant it, yes. People don't make this stuff up from nothing, it'll always be based on what she feels deep down. She's now frantically backpedaling, probably because she's terrified of divorce. Oof, my guy. She probably at the very least had conversations with someone about you being subpar. You deserve better, king. It's either real. Or she's a super shitty person to make things up just to hurt you. Buddy, your post history really just reinforces this one. She probably meant it and doesn't want to deal with the consequences, so she's taking it back. I think it's time to leave. Well, regardless, that's an awful thing to say to somebody. Whether she meant it or not, because now you will always wonder about it. In my personal opinion though, I think when things are heated, and bad things come out, they usually mean it on some level. People don't come up with that specific insult in the moment if they hadn't been thinking about it before. Oh yeah, she meant it, you are her fallback or plan B, she wanted someone else but couldn't get him. Bad times ahead, I'd be talking to lawyer and start your exit procedure. This will come up again in anger. My, M34, girlfriend, 30, is a lesbian but wants to stay together. My girlfriend of 2.5 years is a lesbian, she confessed this to me about a month ago. When we first started dating, she told me that she was bisexual, and favored women physically. I didn't mind. About 6 months ago, something in our relationship changed. She started being distant, avoiding me completely in person, staying at work until I was already in bed, and via phone, text, saying she didn't have a signal or her phone was dead anytime I tried to get a hold of her. I suspected that she was cheating, and when I confronted her about how she was acting weird, she admitted that she'd been confused due to developing feelings for a female friend of hers. She'd been spending less time with us both to try and figure out what was happening with her. We talked at length about how maybe she wasn't feeling sexually satisfied, and I upped my bedroom game and things improved. Then last month, she throws this bombshell at me: she's determined that she's a lesbian. She admits that she loves me, but she's not in love with me. She felt like I deserved to know that she'd never be able to love me the way that I love her, but she still wants to be together. We live in a conservative area and she has super religious family that she's close to, and she wants kids. She promised to never have sex with someone else. The thing is, I love her. I was planning on proposing before she gave me this news. And I'm happy? I think. We still have sex, share a bed, laugh and joke. But things just seem different. I noticed that she doesn't kiss me anymore unless we're having sex. The thing is, I have absolutely struggled with women before her. I never found someone like her that I just gelled with. And she's great to me. She takes care of me when I'm sick, genuinely cares about me and my family. She's a 50-50 partner around the house and financially. And like I said, I absolutely love her. Can't get enough time with her. But I just don't know if deep down in my heart that will be enough long term. Any advice? Do not marry this woman. Do not marry this woman. Don't do it. Do not throw away the rest of your life for a bit of temporary comfort now. Do you want to go the rest of your life with a partner that isn't attracted to you, won't genuinely want to kiss you, etc.? Your self-esteem will end up in the gutter. P.S. She will definitely go back on her word once she is more comfortable in her lesbian identity and you get married. She will either cheat or start to push the idea of an open marriage, threesomes, etc. Before you know it, she will have a girlfriend and will completely stop having sex with you, and you will just be platonic roommates. Find someone else. You deserve better. Someone who actually is in love with you. She's a lesbian. Obviously end the relationship. She deserves to find someone she is deeply in love with, and you deserve someone to be in love with you. Her wanting to stay together changes nothing. Why would you want that deal? The relationship is now ending. It's up to you whether it is fast or slow. She won't be able to meet your needs over time, if even at all now. You deserve better than to be someone's beard. Don't stay with someone who says they aren't attracted to men if you're a man. If she wants a beard, that's fine, but both parties would need to be on board. Does she want to stay with you to appease her family? Do you think this kind of relationship will really be enough for you both? Will you be able to stay by her and not resent her when she does fall in love with another woman? If you're just happy to have her by your side and nothing more, I think the relationship could still last for a while. If you know you're going to want someone who you can be in love with and know they are in love with you too, I think you need to reconsider your plans and your future with your partner. Edit. My advice is to not waste each other's time if you know this isn't going to be a lasting arrangement. The longer you put it off, the more painful the separation will be. I would strongly advise against having children unless you are ready to co-parent.